This process taught me so much about me and what I am capable of as an entrepreneur and as a woman. I am so proud of the growth. Dreamers, welcome back to the Dreaming Forward podcast. This is the last episode of the season and of the month of June. We've been talking this month about efficiency versus excellence. And I thought about having like an out of scope episode, or am I going to do this integration episode? But instead, I actually wanted to end the season how I started the season, with transparency. But I think the tone of this video is going to be very different than the tone of the season opener. I talked when the season opened about how difficult the past year and a half had been for me in my personal and professional life. And there are some things that have improved drastically, and there are other things that are slowly improving. But I just really wanted to reach out and say thank you for tuning in, for giving me feedback. Folks have sent me emails and messages and tons of good stuff about what they've seen. And I wanted to share what this season has meant for me. So you've probably noticed as the season has progressed that there are differences at times in quality. So it could be the lighting, it could be like the cut or the editing or things like that. And that is because I've been managing this myself. I've been doing this podcast myself this season, and literally the entire thing. A lot of it was because of budget. I unfortunately had to step away from outsourcing this, but I learned so much in this process. I wanted to hold off on doing a new season until I felt like I had the money and the resources to pay someone again. And I've really felt like God was leading me to launch, that there were things He wanted to say through me and things that He wanted me to communicate to the world that couldn't wait on money. And it's just that simple. And it took me doing research to find platforms and all the different resources and ways that I could try to do this on my own. I've never been a video person, photography person necessarily, so graphic design, none of that. I mean, I make decks and stuff for trainers, but this was like another level. And I had to teach myself to do this from scratch. There were some episodes where I was like, oh, it didn't come out great. And there were some episodes where my confidence was low in how people might receive it, and did it matter, and is this important, and am I doing a good job? But I did it. I did it anyway. Ooh. I'm gonna probably get emotional like Carl Thomas, y'all. But I did it anyway. Beyond teaching myself new skills, this process taught me so much about me and what I am capable of as an entrepreneur and as a woman. I am so proud of the growth and the development. So to close it out, when we talk about efficiency versus excellence, this season for me has been about both. That me seeing how bad I had let things slip in my company, it forced me to set a new standard. What does it look like for Dream Forward to exist? What types of services does Dream Forward provide? What type of client does Dream Forward look to serve? Where does Dream Forward show up in the world? Because I could say a world now. I had to ask myself all those things. What does it look like to be a Dream Forward vendor, partner, employee? What does it look like to be the founder and CEO of Dream Forward? Because that has changed too. And I still don't have all the answers, but I'm closer to figuring things out than I was before, and I'm so grateful for that. I am amazed at the progress that I've been able to make. At the time of filming this, it's like very early in the month. And so it's really only been like 5 months in a year at this point, a solid 5 months. I can't believe the progress I've made, y'all. Because this year is the year that I get to execute and launch on the things that I spent the last year and a half preparing. So seeing no fruit is like watering an empty, barren field. So you did all this work to till the ground and dig stuff up and make sure that the soil is nice and fertilized and plant the seed and you watering and making sure it got the right amount of light and giving it the fertilizer and feeding it and talking sweet to the plant, and you don't see any growth for a year and a half. And this year I started to see little sprouts. I need them to sprout faster, but I'm seeing little sprouts. And it's just awe-inspiring for me to see this, because I never imagined my company becoming this. I'm gonna be honest. I could not. I thought that it would be a certain level, but I just never saw this direction. And I'm floored at what God is doing. So with that being said, again, for me this year has been about the excellence and efficiency part. Also about reducing errors and waste. I have been able to pretty much strip down almost everything I was paying for. I can't believe how lean the budget is that I'm running. Like, I'm shook in my professional and personal life. Like, for the company's budget and my personal budget. Like, I cut a lot of stuff out. And you want to know what's funny about that? Me cutting out all that money I was paying the people for stuff and for services showed me just how much people didn't respect me and my investment. So the amount of people who just knew that they was going to be able to make a bag off me, and it had become like clockwork. They don't pay attention to the quality. They don't have to keep up with respectful communication, timely communication. They just doing stuff because they just used to me defaulting to them. And through strapped cash flow, because that's really what it was, there were things that I couldn't do as quickly as I thought I would want to do it, or I had to do something else with it for this other major project. And watching how people responded to me saying no was very fascinating. It has been eye-opening to watch. I'm going to say it like that. And this is in every area. This is like family, friends, business partners, vendors, all kinds of folks. This is across the board. Watching people become miffed and incredulous at me saying no or not right now, that told me what I need to know about a lot of relationships. And it's a lesson that I will not soon forget. And it has caused me to rethink the way I cultivate relationships, the way I cultivate respect. Because you teach people how to treat you. And the way I cultivate standards of doing business with me. Because again, a lot of this transition over the past like 2 years for me has been transitioning into full-time entrepreneurship. So instead of me always just working in my business doing service delivery, I've had to spend a lot of time working on my business. And a part of that is the brand voice, the standards of excellence for partnership, for service, all of that. I had to rethink all of that. And I got a new spirit about me with how I allow people to treat me with things. There are quite a few people I thought I needed. Things I thought I needed, I don't need that, and I don't need them. I might need the service, but I no longer default to what's familiar. I give myself time to find alignment and compatibility. And that's in every area of my life. I'm not as pressed to move fast. And I think that's sometimes what we get wrong about efficiency in particular, is that efficiency is moving quick. And I thought this for years. Like, efficiency is actually one of my core values personally. It used to be one of the company's values. Actually, it still is. I'm sorry. It still is. But I used to have a different set of values for the company. And so efficiency was like, oh, I don't waste time. I don't waste time. And now I realize that it's not just about making the most of my time through moving fast. It's making the most of my time by avoiding redundancies because I didn't spend enough time vetting. Think on that. If you had just spent 2 more extra days considering if that partnership was worth it before you signed on for that, would you have worked with that person? Would you have taken on that client? Would you have pursued that customer? Would you have fired that person? Would you have moved that person off the team? Maybe not. So I've learned to actually slow down. And it's funny because there was a season of my life where I had to move fast. Like, boom, boom, boom. But discernment is important in leadership. And in particular, discerning when the season changes. So, y'all know I'm a Christian all the time. There's a scripture that I love. And it talks about the sons of Issachar. It's in the Old Testament. And it talks about how the tribe of Issachar was good at discerning the times and seasons and what the Israelites should do. And that scripture has always, always stood out to me. Always. Because discerning what time it is, what season it is, what the tone is, what the climate is, and then knowing what to do. If you can't do that, you ain't gonna be doing too much of nothing for very long. Because it's always gonna be something and somebody pulling on you to go in a bunch of different directions. You got to know what time it is in your own life. Gotta know what time it is. You have to know what time it is. And so for me, discerning the times and seasons means that I'm learning now to slow down, even for just a little bit of a pause. You know, it's got to be a year. It could be 5 minutes. But that slowdown for me means everything because I'm a person, again, I push. But the slowdown means that I give myself time to check for that compatibility and alignment. And more often than not, this year especially, who I was going to go with is not who ends up being the best choice. It's just not the best choice. And so the pause helps me to get to the best choice, not just a choice and a decision that would feed my ego. So with that being said, season 2 is officially wrapping. I'm still in audit. I sat here and produced a whole season of my podcast. And season 3, I already got a setup for that. I can't wait for season 3, actually. I'm excited about it. I'm going to take a break for the month of July. I'll be back in August. And I'm going to be bringing in some additional voices in season 3. Yeah, I'll talk more about that when we get ready for the kickoff of season 3. But I'm excited for season 3 to come up because I think you're gonna love the direction that I go for that. I'm gonna keep out of scope. I like that. That was something that had been on my mind for a long time, and to do it, I was like, yes, I executed on my idea. So I'm gonna keep out of scope. Dear Little Sis is gonna be staying too. I had mentioned at the beginning of the season I didn't know how I wanted to work with that. Just we talking about with the pause. I know now. I'm clear about the direction I need to go with that. So you're gonna be seeing some awesome stuff with that for season 3. And I like the monthly themes still. I like those. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna keep those. But instead of it just being monthly, honestly, I might just start dealing with a topic until I feel like I've done what I need to do with it. So the opening topic for season 3, because I already know what it is, I'm letting y'all know right now. It's not just gonna be for the month, it's gonna be something else, but you'll see. It's gonna be awesome. I'm really excited about it. And I'm looking forward to hearing some yeses from the people that I have in mind. Some of them already confirmed, but some others I'm waiting on. And I'm looking forward to that. So honestly, that's my update. You know, again, starting to see those buds from the hard work that I was blessed to put in over the last year and a half. The main things for me was being consistent with content creation. So whether that was the podcasting, the writing the blogs, I had launched the Substack. I decided to integrate the Substack into this channel, so you'll see posts on the community page that'll be coming up every other week. So it'll be like probably 2 a month of those written posts to talk about different business topics and things like that. So I hope y'all enjoy those. Posting on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook, and being consistent with that at least 3 times a week. So I've been doing pretty good with that. I love seeing the momentum that has generated for me too. And honestly, continuing to push for this going global, man. The places that I'm able to see and experience and go are just, I mean, it's mind blowing to see the world and see the need for what I have to do. Like, seeing that my purpose is applicable on the other side of the world is just another level of gratitude and excitement. And so the global expansion has been going very well for Dream Forward. And honestly, the podcast helps with that because I get a chance to share who I am and share my heart. And that's a beautiful thing for me. And I think the last thing that is hopefully should be moving along, um, just about closing out by the time I get back to season 3, is this doctoral degree. It's Team Dr. Kalyn. So, um, yeah, that's doing what it needs to do, and I'll just leave that at that. And I'm excited about that too. I mean, it's an amazing year. It's a different type of year than I thought I would have, but it has been amazing. I'm pleasantly surprised with everything that God is opening and showing me. And I'm just excited. I'm thrilled. It's just an amazing time. So I hope that you all have enjoyed season 2. I have had so much fun doing this, so much fun hearing your thoughts, your feedback. Like I said, some of y'all have reached out to me privately. Some of you have made some comments. I am over 100 subscribers now, which is like, what? 100 people want to hear what I gotta say. So thank you for that. Keep rocking with me, man, because season 3 is gonna get even better. So that's it for now. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments, how has this year been going for you? How can I support you? What's on your mind? And what are you thinking about as I get ready for this little midterm break? Of course, it's always so grateful for your presence here. See you soon, dreamers.